Hi, it's Alaska Granny. There are some survival gear mistakes that I wanted to go over with you to make sure that you're prepared for any kind of a survival bug out situation and that you've thought about the common mistakes and then you've taken the steps you need to have the things that you need available to you. The number one mistake that people make with their survival gear is choosing the backpack. They choose something that's too big, they load it up too heavy, and then it's not manageable. You want to choose a backpack that fits the gear that you need with the least amount of space. The bigger the suitcase, the more we pack. It's just the nature of human beings. The more space we have, the more we think we need to fill it up. Choose a backpack that's manageable, that holds the most important items in the smallest amount of space, so that it doesn't become so cumbersome that you can't do the things you need, bring the gear you need, and be able to take care of yourself. Then you need to make sure that you choose a color that is a stealth design, something natural that fits in. Camo, dark, black, gray, green. You don't want something that's a bright color if you really are in a situation that you need to be out of sight. You don't want your backpack giving you away. Next, people remember to include water, but you need a way to filter and purify water. Make sure along with your water bottles that you have stored a filter that's easy to manage, you know how to use it, and some water purification tablets. I have a water filter from Survival Filter. You can drink right out of the stream, any kind of wild water. You can screw it on to a regular size water or soda bottle, fill it up, and drink it through there. That's also a great way to be able to pour the water into another container if you needed to gather and purify water at the same time. The water purification system that I choose is the Aqua Tabs. Drop them in, shake them around to dissolve, let the water sit, and then the water can be purified for you with just a little tablet. The next mistake that people make is either they use cheap cordage or they don't have any cordage. You need to make sure that you get some paracord, 550 paracord. It's the strongest cordage you can get, and it's the most versatile because you can unravel it. It has many strands in between so that the strength is there and the size is there. Make a shelter, use it for fishing line, hang food in the trees away from wild animals. Use it as a clothesline to hang up your clothes to dry if you've been in a winter storm or fallen into the water. Make sure that you include some heavy-duty paracord. The next mistake that people make is getting a cheap first aid kit. If you're really in a survival situation, first aid and staying healthy can be the most important thing. If you look at some of the common accidents, the trauma is what does people in. You need to make sure that you have basic supplies, yes, for things like splinters and cuts. You want to go beyond the basics with things like gauze, bandages, tweezers, something like Quick Clot to stop bleeding, something for a splint, gloves, and a survival blanket should be part of your first aid. The next mistake that people do, no matter what kind of knife you have, from the tiniest to the most robust survival knife that's possible, is if your knife gets dull, it's not going to be very useful. You need some kind of a whetstone to help you keep your blades sharp. Keep them sharp when you put them into your bag, and then look for some kind of a whetstone that you can bring with your gear so you can keep your knives sharp to be the tool that you need in any kind of a situation. The next mistake people make with their survival gear is bringing dehydrated meals. Dehydrated meals mean in a survival situation you have to stop, build a fire, gather water, find a way to heat the water, pour it into your dehydrated food, wait for the water to make your food ready to eat before you can have it. That takes a lot of time, energy that you may not have in a survival situation. What you need to do is have food that is shelf stable, open and eat, grab and go. Tear it open and get the protein, the carbs that you need to fill you up and give you the energy to keep going. You may not have time to stop and prepare a dehydrated meal, so make sure you're getting things like energy bars, things that are reasonably lightweight, but you can eat with little effort and keep going. The next mistake that people forget is not having a way to repair your survival gear. If your clothing or your backpack gets a tear or a rip in it, you need to be able to repair it. You need things like duct tape, zip ties, a small sewing kit. Once again, you need to think about being stealth. What kind of duct tape is going to be the best for your pack? The bright colors are pretty and we want to buy them, but that isn't what we need for a survival situation. That would be something for a crafting situation. Make sure you have a stash of cash. You may not find yourself 100 miles into the Alaskan bush in the middle of winter. You may find yourself in a city or an urban situation. With cash, you could pay for a hotel room. You could get a taxi cab. You could buy some food or water. You could find the things that you need and be able to pay for them. But you can't if you don't have any cash. Make sure that you have several $100s worth in small bills. Nobody's going to be able to break a $100 bill, and you don't want to pay a $20 bill to get a bottle of water, for example, and no one will give you back your change. You want to be able to provide the things you need in the amounts that are reasonable. Something that has stuck in my mind since the 9/11 tragedies were the photographs that people put up, "Please help me find my lost loved one." Make sure that you include a current picture of everyone in your family so that in a real emergency you can show the picture and say, "Have you seen this person?" It's going to be a lot more helpful than for you to say, "I'm looking for a man, a woman, or a child." If you can show a picture, "I'm looking for this man, this woman, this child," you're far more likely to be able to get back together with the ones that you love the most. I can't think of anything worse than being the one that survives and not being able to reconnect with your family. So make sure that you carry the things with you that are most important to you. Check out your survival gear. Take note of these survival gear mistakes and make sure that you're not making any of those. If you have any other tips of what we need in our survival gear, put them in the comments below. Help educate us so we can all have the best possible outcome in any kind of a situation. Learn more at alaskagranny.com. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.